Hello. We are in line 2 of gate 1. Love is light. This is the title of this line. With individuality, we are dealing with a number of things. First of all, we're dealing with people who are not designed to be interfered with. This is why we find deafness and stubbornness in individual gates. They do not allow anyone to interfere with them. Here in the lower trigram, the individual doesn't even expect that there is somebody who's going to interfere. The other thing that we're dealing with is that all individuality suffers from the chemistry of melancholy, or it experiences the chemistry of melancholy. All individuality is rooted in a happy and sad cycle. Unique individual expression or mutation is not something that happens all the time. It might not even happen every day. There's a process built into the foundation that says that this is something that has to be waited for. And in waiting, there can be a great deal of turmoil. This is also a projector gate. Projectors have to wait for recognition and invitation. This is also not something that can be forced. When you come to the second line, it is very much involved in itself and in being what it is, being different. Somebody looks inside and they see that difference, and in seeing it, the second line can be interfered with and brought out of their individual process. The exaltation says Venus exalted as a symbol of beauty. The required harmony between established values and ideals that enriches inspiration, self-expression conditioned by ideals and values. So much about direction has to do with beauty, and yet beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know, one person's rose is another person's asparagus. Oh, why not? That's the way things are. You know, what is beauty? What is the beautiful way? What appears to be the beautiful way for some is not necessarily the way for others. The established values that are mentioned here, they simply mean that you have to be oh, I've got somebody else's mouth in today. Somebody, I'm going to start this sentence again. The established values that are mentioned here, what they mean simply is that to be oneself is to be without interference. You know, and you have to be without interference so that you can fulfill your life. The ideal is to maintain that capacity for individual expression. However, the gate 1, line 2, doesn't know. They're not like the natural in the 2. Yeah. They just live that until somebody interferes, because that's what always happens to them. You know, this is second line. The self-expression isn't going to come out unless it's recognized. Somebody has to knock on their window and say, hey, I see you paint pictures. They're terrific. Well, but of course, that's going to be conditioned by whoever is recognizing them and who they allow to come in and take them out of their second line isolation. Yeah, the second line is a hermit. One of the things you'll hear a second line say is, leave me alone. Don't distract me. I don't need all this stuff distracting me. Everything's fine. I'm not a painter. Yes, I painted that, but I'm not a painter. Yeah, they don't have a framework. Their framework is going to come from the outside. Second lines need to learn discernment. We've heard this so often through this journey. Second lines need to learn discernment about who it is that is going to draw them out, who they're going to allow to draw them out, who they're going to either respond to or accept that invitation from. Now, when it's lower trigram, they don't know there's an 8th gate at the other end that is desperately wanting to make a contribution of some sort. In the detriment, we have desires and passions have their place, but not at the expense of creation. Self-expression limited by desires and passions. So desire and passion have their place, yes, but save them for the bedroom or, the kitchen or whatever it is. But to desire to be unique or to put all of your passion into being unique, this is misplaced, and it can lead to depression, melancholy. It's really the same story. When you look at the uniqueness of expression in the individual, we know that we're going to find something unusual, something weird, bizarre, different. And this can be very interesting and exciting. The gift of the individual is just to be themselves. And someone who is authentically being themselves, we might not necessarily like it, find it beautiful, but we can appreciate their authenticity because we feel it. So with the exaltation and with the detriment, the way in which this line will work, it is deeply connected to who this being is going to meet. Because those are the people who will deeply interfere with their process. After all, this is a very powerful force. This is direction. It's a very penetrating force. There are people who would just love to take that penetrating force and manifest it, bring it out. They have to be the right people. The second line doesn't know that it's unique. It doesn't not know either. It's just doing what it's doing. It's not labeling itself one way or the other. But it is subject to being cranked up, to being pumped up and having its ego built on. Whoa, you are so unique. Oh, sorry, Bear. Don't qualify unique in Bear's hearing. You are unique. It sounds so much better when you say really unique. Anyway, you're really terrific. You have to put your desire and passion into this. Wow, that's you being interfered with instead of being left alone inside your room. Whenever you're dealing with individuality, the more you leave these people alone and you don't interfere with them, the better it is going to be for everybody. Look at your own design. And it's not just about your sun or your earth, any individual gate or channel that you have. These are places in your life where nobody has a right to interfere with you. The moment that you let them interfere, a very important quality of you as a being, as a unique being, gets lost. Individuality is not here to be interfered with. The collective is about sharing. Individuality is about ultimate empowerment. In the binary here at the beginning of this structure, both the first and the second lines are clear about the same thing. It's up to the muse. It's not up to us. And it means it's not up to others either. It's not up to the collective. It's not up to the tribe. It's up to the gods and the muse. The grounding is coming through gate 2 in the second line, which is called genius. This is the natural. This is somebody who knows where they're going, because this is a direction gate. This is, remember, where the magic monopole. Did I say magic? The magnetic monopole, which is magic, of course, but it's where it sits. So this is a direction. They don't know where they're going. They don't know the how or the why of it all. This is supporting the natural creativity in the first gate, where they don't know that they're being creative. They don't know that they're unique. It's who they are rather than something that they do. The moon has been in gate 38 since 9:10 this morning, the gate of the fighter. More individuality here. This is the drive to find a cause, to find something to fight for. It's the fuel for the stream of intuition. Intuition is a personal matter. It doesn't want to be influenced. And we stay in the route for the next moon gate, gate 54 at 1939. This is the tribal gate of ambition, fueling the rise of the marrying maiden up through the ranks to achieve the position of empress. taking care to remember always who has helped her on her way, because the tribe doesn't do anything alone, and that support has to come from somewhere, and there is always a price to be paid for their loyalty. And the moon moves into another pressure center. This time it goes to the head center, and we find gate 61, and that's at 0603 tomorrow morning, the gate of mystery, the gate of inner truth. We have more individuality here. So we know that the energy is going to move in a pulse. Inspiration comes in a pulse, or it comes between the pulses, but it comes in its own timing. That flash of inspiration can feel so good, especially when it's recognized, because it's a projector gate. And of course, there may then be the tendency to hold on to it, or even to either force more or pretend an inspiration when there actually isn't one. But it can't be forced, and its timing is its own. And this can lead to melancholy, because you feel sometimes that inspiration is never going to come. And then, of course, you just don't necessarily see it when it does come, because that's another part of this, is that when it comes, it's never the same as it was before. And if you're looking for that inspiration to be what it's been before, because that felt so good and you want to have that one again, then you could miss this new inspiration that comes in. Okie dokie. That's our line 2 in gate 1. Thank you very much for joining me. We're in a third line tomorrow. I will join you then. And tomorrow is a double sun transit gate day, line day. They're very confusing, these double days, aren't they? When I post them, and Bear helps me post, he posts on Substack for me. And I always put in the line when I send it to him, double Sunday. It's like, double Sunday? This is confusing. So it's a double sun line gate transit thing day. Bye. Love you. Go gently. I'm going to go and find a dictionary.